Hi there. Um, so how is everybody after April? April 2026 has been quite was quite the month, wasn't it? So this forecast comes a little late. Um, and we're living through rough times because all the planets have now entered new signs um, officially, and most of us who are alive today have not experienced such changes in the sky before. So we're truly um, in a new territory, and there's no going back. Um, but also many new developments. Good developments have also, I don't have to tell you how rough things are because everybody knows how rough things are. But I want to point out also some good things. I've already, now that now that Uranus is in Gemini, I've already um, read so many amazing things in terms of medical research and using AI in terms of medical research and things like that has been amazing. Um, I'm not crazy about AI otherwise, but for such purposes, it is amazing. They are able to detect some diseases well before they would otherwise. I read about that some children who are born deaf, a certain deafness can be completely cured. So amazing technical breakthroughs. So that's the good news. Other than that, so this month is a mixed bag. Um, okay, so April was it was so relentless that at least things became clear. And we know now, to the extent that um, um, if we were uncertain or unclear about things before, we have a lot more understanding about things. Um, and since April, since Mars was in Aries the entire month of April, things were happening so fast that we barely had time to think. But now, this month, Mars is gonna um, Mars is gonna ingress to Taurus, which means that things will um, slow down at least. Um, and then we have a bit of a rough patch also when Mars creates a square with Pluto on the 25th. So there's still it's still not great, but at least things have become clear. Things will slow down after in the middle of the month, but answers are not exactly available yet. We just know that nothing is the same, but we just don't know what the um, new is yet. So let's start going through the signs. Okay, Aries, May, you are still dealing with some sort of issue regarding your body, your identity, because you have that cluster of planets Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, and Aries in your first house, in your identity house. So it's a lot, but so if, for example, if you have been experienced, some of you might have experienced some sort of health problems, but after Mars leaves in the middle of the month, things should um, calm down um, quite a lot, and the more um, separation there's between Neptune and Saturn, the more clear you will become regarding that diagnosis. Because right now it may be a little bit of maybe unclear. Every time Neptune is involved, um, it's confusing, and things may not be clear. But the further they get away from each other, the clearer the things become. You seem to also have you have a new moon in your money house, so some kind of um, there's a possibility of either getting some money or some unexpected bill. So it's probably half and half. Some of you may even get some sort of windfall regarding money, or regarding your something about your self-esteem also. But some of you also may get some sort of unexpected expense. Let's hope it's the former. And you still have lots of support home, um, in your home house. So you have Jupiter there, and then you have Venus joining Jupiter. So lots of probably celebrations and all kinds of happiness surrounding your home. So if there has been a stressful aspect regarding your health, for example, or something to do with your identity, your role in the society now, there might have been also some friendship and your network issues. So you are just being asked to surrender to spirit. So um, I think that's a great card. Basically, after you've done everything you can, then there's no need to worry about it. If you have done everything you can regarding researching an issue or doing something, everything you can about what troubles you, then the rest of it sort of surrender to spirit. That's the letting go card. And then your advice is Six of Swords. So it's just kind of telling you you are going to the right direction. Okay, so you're heading towards um, the direction you're supposed to. You just need to just to try to keep that in mind um, during these stressful times. And again, family and home environment is giving you so much support that should sustain you. Okay, Taurus. So Taurus, you are getting a new moon in your first house in the middle of the month. Um, the Taurus new moon, it is really close to the fixed star Algol, which is pretty intense. So maybe I would say that you might want to be clear about. I think it's interesting that you're getting this card, surrender the habit of people pleasing. I'm not sure if this is exactly people pleasing. It's more like you got to stay in your own lane. Um, Remind yourself exactly who you are. Don't do things just because other people do them, or don't do things in a performative way, because this is where alcohol comes in. If we are sort of performative instead of true to ourselves, then alcohol is the one star that will sort of remind us of it. Um, Sometimes in a little bit of harsher way. So you really need to just to remember to stay your own lane, even if good things are happening, and sort of particularly when good things are happening. Um, Remember that we're not here by ourselves. Things that you do, sure, you deserve them, but um, pride um, will not serve you well. Too much pride will not serve you well in this case. And it's interesting that the device card is temperance. So, you know, um, temper down your pride or expectations, things like that. Moderation, things in moderation, I would say, is the advice for this um, month, especially Pluto in your midheaven, also there. Looks like you're going to have to go through some things that you already dealt with in terms of your career, or something to do with your role in society. Um, and But things in general, if there have been hidden things, hidden enemies, hidden things that just sort of came out of nowhere, um, those things should start to untangle themselves after this new moon, after Mars has moved out of your 12th house. Okay, then it does go to your first house, your house of identity, and that is exactly which will sort of, as soon as Mars enters your first house, the bad news is that it's sort of the, the issues about pride and something to do with your body, possibly also. It sort of aggravates them. But on the other hand, Mars is our energy level. It talks about our energy and our will to act. So it will sort of embolden you, which is not a bad thing, as long as you remember to um, act um, in a reasonable, moderate way. Um, I think that's fair to say here. And when Venus enters, joins Jupiter in your third house, that sounds like some lovely times, maybe with around your neighborhood, the short distance travel, maybe with your siblings. Towards the end of the month, particularly, and the beginning of June, that's some lovely times coming up. So celebrations are definitely coming up. Okay, Gemini. Gemini, okay, so here we are. Finally, the moment is here. Uranus has arrived in your first house, your house of identity. Uh, the first house also represents your body, your identity, um, your destinies to some degree, and Uranus entering here, uh, where it's going to stay for 7 years, is a big, big deal. So it entered here on the 25th of April. So I hope you paid attention to what what might have happened that week, what symbolism, because those symbolism when when a planet enters a new sign, it usually there's some sort of symbolism. It's usually pretty loud. And the nice thing about it was that Venus, it entered, Uranus entered in this house with uh, Uranus enters this in this house right after Venus entered there. So that's a lovely combination, and that's why I think you have this surrender to creativity, and you're getting the magician card. Like this is can be such a creative time. It can be a very exciting time. Um, sure, times are we're living through rough times, but um, I think this is very exciting. Um, and I hope you paid attention to those signs. I would love to know in the comments what your experiences were regarding, um, did you get any inklings what Uranus may bring um, to your to your sign around the 25th of April? Because that symbolism will speak quite loudly about it. And then so you have when you look at the magician card, all the four elements, this leopard, or not sure, but I think it's a leopard. It has all the four elements at its disposal. So you are, this is, Uranus brings creativity, it brings inspiration, innovation. You might, you know, don't go crazy, but but typically people will try out all kinds of new things when Uranus is in their identity house. Um, it's a little bit of hit and miss, but it is exciting. And generally speaking, Uranus wants good things for us. It is here to awaken us. It is not here to, make ourselves lives miserable. We can often experience it a little uncomfortable because most of us don't like change. And Uranus, change, it's a planet of change, and change you will, um, one way or another. So you might as well just go fully in and embrace these changes and take advantage of it and celebrate them. Okay. And then you have a lovely Venus will be joining Jupiter in your money house. So that's a really good sign. And I think you're gonna feel good. This is all about the second house is also about your self-esteem. Um, and then also about possibly your it has to do with family and your skills. There's all kinds of things that the second house includes. So I think you'll feel overall pretty good. Um, and I think this is a new start for you in many ways. And especially when the nodes move out of your career um, and home signs. I think this the I think July, then things are going to get a little bit easier. Right now, they're a little bit possibly slightly rocky because there's so much going on. But overall, I also see definitely some sort of celebrations coming up at the end of the month. Um, having and looks like you have um it looks like you have the money for it too. Okay, so looking good. Okay, Cancer. Okay, Cancer, I can see that you have um so you have had you haven't had the easiest of times, even if you have had Jupiter in your first house. That's because that Aries house, your midheaven Aries house, the 10th house is the house of career. Um, um, it, it's creating a superior square to your identity house, so it hasn't been exactly easy. You've had to, and Pluto also in your eighth house. There's some sort of reckoning happening. Definitely, I mean, that's why you have this card, surrender denial. Whatever happened in April, there's no more denying um, about certain things that have have to do with your identity and your status in society, and your karmic debts to other people or their debts to you. There's definitely this is some sort of time of reckoning to some degree. Um, but I think the intensity is gonna come come down after the middle of the month in May. So things will calm down, but things are clear now. It's hard to know exactly. The answers are not clear, but we know, at least you know exactly um, where you are. So there's no question about um, who am I? Um, what is the issue here? I think you have a very clear um, I think you have a very clear understanding where we're standing right now, where you're standing. Um, but the fact that you have, um, but the fact that you have Seven of Wands as the advice card, I would say this this battle is not over yet. I think that because Pluto has retrograded, these issues will start again. Things will calm down considerably, but they will definitely pick up again. You will sort of have to go over the things that happened since last November of 2025 and or so. Well, the beginning of the year, really, of 2026. And then things will pick up again. You will find yourself in this place again in October. So just be aware of that. Because this Pluto transit in your eighth is indicating that this particular battle is not over yet. So, but now you have time to sort of settle down and think about things and decide what to do. Okay, Leo. Um, so yes, so this very, you've had a very exciting April, I would say. Um, all those planets in your ninth house in Aries, the house of your life philosophy, long distance travel, um, some sort of like has to do with immigration also, but also any kind of things that expand your mind. Okay. Education is also in this house, but there's something here that some sort of time of reckoning where you have to kind of reassess your life philosophy. Something happened here. Something happened in April where you have to rethink exactly your strategy, your life philosophy in general. And mm, and then you have this new moon happening in your 10th house. So something to do with your career, your public role in society. But it is involved, it has to do with the fixed star Algol is involved with this new moon in Taurus. And because the sun is your ruler, there's something very intense about this new moon. And then right after, Mars is also going to enter your 10th house. So something here is you're you're kind of you're I would say um, um, I would not push myself to the center. I would not ask to be the center of attention this month. There's something about it that I think that's the bit of a warning here that um because alcohol tends to be the kind of fixed star that will bring us down if we are too prideful. There's that's one element of it. Um, just know who you are. You don't have to present yourself any more or any less than who you are. If you just stick with if you're just being completely honest with yourself and others, then everything's fine. And you can um, surrender to trust, as the card says here. Um, but um, I think the fact that you have the Hermit card here also is very is another part of that warning. There's something about you're not quite comfortable. Uranus has entered uh, your 11th house of of networks and benefactors, friends. Something about these new networks is a little bit uncomfortable for you. It's kind of like it's a bit much. Um, it's a bit much. It's something to you're not quite sure if you want to know these people. Let's put it that way. You're kind of like, do I want to to know these people? I don't know, and you're just a little bit of in an unknown territory because you are in an unknown territory. So yeah, the Hermit card, which is not something that is comfortable, like normally you want to be the center of attention. This is not the month to be the center of attention. The Hermit card clearly is kind of like um, lay low until you know who you're dealing with. You don't quite, Uranus in this house is kind of telling you like things are not what they seem. You don't know what you're dealing with at this moment yet. So, it's not necessarily bad. It's just different. It's just, and so much to know. There's so much to know. There's so much to learn here with Uranus in Gemini. So many options. Um, but you don't have a choice to go into hiding either. That's not exactly going to work. It's more like keep your thoughts to yourself. Is my advice. It's more like internal hermit. Kind of keep your actual thoughts to yourself before you know exactly what's going on here. Okay, that's my advice for this month. And um, I think then in July, you're going to have Jupiter will arrive in your sign. So that'll be something to look forward to. Okay, dear Virgo. So, yeah, every month I think I want to say you're done with this relationship issue, but then here we are still yet again. You're getting that surrender, unhealthy relationships card. Um, it's just been the aftermath, the reckoning, and the nodes are still there. Rahu, the North Node, is still in your seventh house. So we're still dealing with um, exactly what to do with this relationship, or how to. I mean, at least you are now a lot more clear about um, some kind of relationship. This can be a partner, this can be clients, this can be business partnerships, and so they everything the Saturn Neptune mess has now moved into the eighth house of karmic debts. So you people who owe you, or you owe them, either karmically or money or things like that. So it's not fun. And Mercury has been, yeah, Mercury, your chart ruler, has not exactly, it hasn't been easy. Okay, let's just face it, it hasn't been easy. Um, it's gonna get better eventually, and towards the end of the month, things will look a lot better. But there's still um, these matters to deal with, and the fact that you get the Queen of Swords here card as the advice card, I would say you're gonna have to find that inner Queen of Swords in you, who makes decisions, um, who may even look selfish for some people, um, but uh, but uh, but I we know the truth. You are not a selfish person. You're the least selfish person. You're always ready to help people. Um, but now um, it's time to make these tough decisions, and you're just gonna have to find that um, power within you. And um, it's a it's a little bit more complicated because Pluto has now retrograded in your sixth house. So just when you were ready to make all these decisions, sort of the urgency to make them, um, you know, things calm down enough that way you're not in the middle of having to make um, decisions in an urgent manner. And but things will pick up again in October. So it is not over. And if you want to rip off the band-aid, you might want to do that now. Maybe after Mars has um, moved to Taurus, possibly. Certainly, if you want the sort of momentum, Then the first 2 weeks of May are there. The momentum is there because Mars is still in Aries. But there's something here, making quick decisions is sometimes, you have to do what you have to do. But if this is a big decision, then maybe you want to wait until Mars is in Taurus so that you can sort of think through this more calmly. Okay. But things are gonna get better, and especially towards the end of the month in May and the beginning of June um, there's definitely going to be some relief. Um, you know, fun with friends, any kind of social events. Really, um, uh, as difficult as it has been, I think, especially the beginning of June, going to be a lovely time. Okay, Libra. All right. Well, so this chart kind of looks like, okay, things not that great in relationships. Some sort of crisis might have happened in April regarding relationships, having to do with um, partner. Something it's also sometimes it's not between our partner, but to your partner, which then affected your life. That's one possibility. But because also Pluto is retrograding, or Pluto was also putting pressure there um, in your house of romance in the fifth house. Um, so something here was possibly quite difficult, um, or messy, or but it became, at least things became a lot more clear. You kind of know where you are now. But I think you will end up back in here um, when Pluto returns to go direct in October. So you may have to return to these issues at that point. Things overall will calm down after this new moon. Um, and But in general, I would say relationships a bit tough right now, but will clarify themselves. On the other hand, your career, your status in society, Venus is going to join Jupiter there. I mean, just a lovely, like talk about relationships bad, career good. That would be the shorthand for this chart at this moment. Um, but I think so. So yes, there's some challenges. On the other hand, you got um, Uranus has entered your ninth house. Uh, I mean, I just this is one of the best houses for Uranus, in my opinion. I have experienced it because it is truly inspiring. The ninth house is your things that open, things that expand your mind, like a travel, education, and learning something that is truly fun. It is not just formal education. It is something that truly inspires you. So something here is truly inspirational, and I really urge you to um, follow that instinct. Um, so if it's giving you, learn something that is inspires you, and it will carry you through many years to come. And luckily, you have time because Uranus is going to be in your ninth house for 7 years. So Libras need relationships more than other people because they tend to mirror themselves through other people. I mean, we all do to some extent, but Libras more than others. So you are reminded to surrender to your soul's path, and sort of like you have your own, no matter what the other, um, your partner is going through, or whatever is happening with them, you have your own path to walk. And we all walk alone to some degree. Even if we are with someone, part of that life is still ours to walk, no one else's. So try to, this is more, I feel like this is something to do with, concentrate concentrate on your own life, your own dreams and aspirations. And Uranus here is going to bring you, in the house of life philosophy, is going to bring you inspiration. I really advise you to, you know, um, look around you, let Uranus inspire you. And if you've always wanted to learn something, this or that, or try something, this is the time. And the advice is Six of Cups, and there's something here about surrender to your soul's path, but in a simplified way. There's something, Six of Cups. Also, in this particular deck, there's an emphasis to your roots. You can see that the roots of this tree are like very colorful, something to do with your ancestors, mm, your roots, your country, your tribe, your friends. Something about there can give you clues about how to deal with this present, this um, current situation and dilemmas that you're facing. Um, um, which are, it's a time of testing. Anytime Saturn is in the seventh house, generally speaking, if we're speaking about partnerships, specifically, people tend to either they get married or they get divorced, in a very blunt way. That's sort of what Saturn tends to do in the seventh house, and what I have seen. So there's like nothing in between regarding uh, Saturn in this house. However, Neptune is there to confuse things. So it may be extra confusing because of Neptune. Um, so so again, that's why concentrate on yourself, on your aspirations, simplify your life, um, and um, follow your own path. And no matter what other people are doing, you have your own path to walk on. Okay, Scorpio. Um, so we're continuing with this intense sixth house, Saturn and Neptune there, Mars, Chiron. So things to do with work, the daily routine. They have changed. A time of reckoning has happened. And then, Pluto has shown its cards in your um, home area. It has to do with your home. That permanent change has changed. Maybe you have moved. Something to do with your home environment, but there's still things to finalize. That's why you're getting this surrender procrastination card, because whatever happened with that partnership. Um, okay, Uranus, brought all those surprises to your um, partnership and all those unexpected changes in your relationship house. And now Uranus has officially entered the eighth house, which is the house of other people's money, paperwork, something to do with the legacies, testaments, things that we owe people, things that other people owe us. And nevertheless, it can be an inspiring. Uranus is inspiring. So to me, this really talks about um, and talk about inspiration. Venus is about to move, um, go to your ninth house of long distance travel, family, life philosophy. I mean, I see some really lovely times in terms of, especially towards the end of the month, you're going to have some lovely time um, traveling, hanging out with friends, family celebrations. I mean, just a lovely, inspirational time that will carry you through. But it's kind of reminding you, it's like, let's get the paperwork or whatever these um, unpleasant duties, let's get them done. Okay. However, it's not completely over yet. You probably something here will return uh, this coming October. We're okay. So just to let you know, there's something here where you just cannot put a completely final stamp on it and everything yet. But then by October, at the end of the year, it will be finished. But you still have some paperwork to finish even this month. But then look at the advice. The advice is uh, nine of nine of Pentacles. So a lovely card in terms of like the reward of feeling good about um, you finishing the paperwork or making those little bit unpleasant, might have to do with work, might have to do with people who are working for you. Maybe you have to even let people go at work or something like that. And these are just the harsh realities of the times that we're living. But once you go and you know push through those unpleasant um, duties, then I think it's time for a celebration and time for a break. And so uh, nine of Pentacles is definitely indicating that. So Sagittarius, okay, um, so so Uranus has now officially arrived in your seventh house, and I've talked about this before. Uranus in your seventh house of relationships. It arrived there with Venus. Venus arrived first, and then Uranus, which was such a good sign, such a good an omen for this Uranus cycle. For the next 7 years, it's going to be in your seventh house of relationships. It's just that I think the fact that you have this surrender low self-esteem is just you're just not quite comfortable in this company yet and in these relationships. And so this can be a new partnership, or just new you're surrounded by completely different types of people that you have ever before. Maybe have new kinds of customers. Maybe you're business partners. There's something here that is very different than before, and you're just not exactly comfortable dealing with these people, or dealing with this type of relationship. Um, Especially because the Pluto is trining. Pluto is now trining that and going retrograde. So, but the good news, you have time to get. This is just a matter of getting used to it. Okay, just because something doesn't look, or let's say, put it this way, just because something looks a certain way doesn't mean um, that's just the surface level of it. So there's going to be, don't make assumptions about people, things, or places um, based on your previous experiences, because Uranus here is kind of telling you, like, oh no, this is something new you have never seen, and I'm going to show you options that are going to blow your mind regarding people, places, things. Um, and okay, it's going to be a little bit intense with Pluto there trying your relationship house, but it's exciting. Just I mean, the advice card here is Wheel of Fortune. I mean, Jupiter, you're the ruler of your sign ruler. I mean, you are Sagittarius. The luck is always on your side in the end, okay? So you just have to trust that. Maybe you have this feeling like you're at the bottom of the wheel right now, but remember the wheel keeps going. It keeps going around and around. Maybe you feel like you're at the bottom of it right now, but you're not. You just, or rather, even if you are, the wheel keeps turning and you'll be on the top again soon enough. But you just have to trust that your luck will return. And I think, particularly in July, when Jupiter enters your ninth house, um, you know, it's not the best sign for Jupiter, but it is a nice house for you. So Jupiter, because then Jupiter creates a trine, it can see your house um, of identity. So I think that you become, I think this low self-esteem issue or feeling down or feeling uncertain is definitely going to disappear by um, by July when Jupiter enters Leo. Okay, Capricorn. So, all right. So the house of the issues surrounding your home, um, maybe parents, maybe grandparents, something to do with home environment. There's a lot of uncertainty about it still, but I think that you have become, let's put it this way, I think that you are now clear what the issues are. And I think that you have recognized that maybe you need some sort of expert advice, which is the hairband card here, the expert advice. And this is an excellent time to be getting that advice. And try to just simply to surrender to effortlessness. Believe that things will go smoothly. Don't jump into we all have this negative bias um, built into our built into us. It's a survival mechanism. What if this happens? What if things go really well? What if things are effortless and go perfectly? Okay, so let's just start there, because you do plenty of fear mongering to yourself anyway, so no need to do that um, any extra duty on that. So I think that um, especially when Venus is about to enter your relationship house. Again, great time, great year for you to find a partner if that's what you're looking for. If not, then this expert help, this is the time to find that help, um, some sort of expert advice, which is going to open up, which is going to help you solve these um, problems, possible problems related to home environment, or possibly related to your parents, or things like that. And Uranus in your sixth house, definitely daily life. Yeah, it's not going to be boring, but it's going to be innovative. You're going to have, sure, you're going to have a lot of, um, there might be unexpected um, new things popping up in your daily routines, but I think they're going to be generally everything that Uranus touches, it generally turns out okay. It's uncomfortable for us because we don't want change. We don't like change, particularly Capricorn doesn't like change, but ultimately it's going to turn out to be a good thing. Changes in your routine, um, particularly if they are related to your health, are absolutely needed, and it's a welcome change. This is not, um, try to embrace these small changes to your routine. Try to embrace them, and instead of fighting them, because they are actually trying to wake you up and help you out. Okay. So, Aquarius. Okay, so Pluto is retrograding in your house, in your first house of identity. So you thought you had already dealt with this stuff, but no, now we're going to go back to the beginning of the year, and kind of deal with those issues again, and um, and then things are gonna pick up again, relating to these issues regarding your identity, your role in society, your life's path. They're gonna continue in October. In the meantime, you're gonna have to kind of, you things will slow down, so you'll have time to think about things a little bit. Although, well, things will slow down certainly, but there's some sort of, since Mars is gonna um, move into your fourth house of home environment, has to do with your home environment, your family, your parents, maybe. Um, some sort of, Mars does not like being in Taurus, so there's some sort of irritation here, maybe. Um, but I would not be too worried about that. Um, um, well, let's put it this way. Now you are clear. You understand now, because in because whatever happened in April, you finally understand what was communicated to you, and what happened. You now understand what is going on. So now, sort of Mars in your fourth house, now is the time, your time to act. If you do not act, then Mars typically just makes things happen. Now, the good thing is, it's Mars slows down in Taurus substantially compared to Aries. So looks like you have time. You have time to act, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do anything about anything. That's not quite the answer there. Um, so, but now you can sort of act more consciously, not so much react to things. Um, okay, and looks like Venus joining Jupiter in your sixth house. Looks like this is it's actually good news to your daily routine and your health. Um, it looks like you are something here about your daily life is actually quite in can be quite enjoyable. Um, okay, so things are not so things, you know, as much as stress as there has been in certain way, there is also this aspect of your you're quite enjoying yourself somehow on your in your daily routine and feeling feeling quite good on some level. Yes, there's all kinds of fears in your mind, maybe, but the actual day-to-day living is quite enjoyable. So the fact that you're getting surrender comparisons to other with other people card, I think here is talking about, I mean, you don't generally compare yourself to other people. I think this is more about you. I mean, this is about your own life's path, and yeah, I think the warning or the advice there is to let go. Like, don't compare what other people have gained or lost or anything like that. They have their own path. You have your own path. This is not something. Um, it's not helpful. It's not helpful to say who has more, who has less. Those people have more. Those people have less. It doesn't help you to compare yourself to anybody else. This is your particular situation. And something about here, in fact, you're getting Four of Pentacles as the advice card. Um, mm, I would say that this is again, um, this is it's a good card. It's a very good card, but it is a card of action, but it is a card of um, conscious action. So this is a card that eventually brings you particularly material wealth, but it is a card of not reacting. It's more like this is establishing a good um, it, this is establishing and making good moves, acting in a very calm, conscious way, particularly when Mars moves to Taurus in your fourth house. So decisions regarding home, um, it's a good time to make conscious decisions in a calm manner, and it will produce good results. Okay, so Pisces. So Pisces, you have just gotten okay, so things are a little bit, you feel a little bit um ungrounded somehow. There's something here where things are I think Uranus in your fourth house in Gemini. Uranus arrived here on the 25th of April. Um, I, I think I don't think you felt, you weren't thrilled about the changes. I think it's a little bit, it was whatever. Now, the good news is that it arrived there right before Venus arrived in your home, um, house first, and then Uranus, which is a very good omen for the next 7 years. So whatever changes Uranus is making in your home environment um, is good, but it's a little bit, you're just a little bit overwhelmed. There's some sort of pressure here, particularly regarding money, as you know, something to do with your self-esteem is sort of tied up into this issue. So try to, so the card is pretty clear, surrender your attachment to results. So try not to look at exactly what's gonna, try not to think about, you know, oh my gosh, I have to get there. This is the goal. And how is it gonna, how is it gonna be received? Try not to think about those fears. I mean, because with those concerns, you have a lot of concerns, especially Pluto in your 12th house can bring up a lot of subconscious fears, and um, and then uh, Neptune and Saturn in your second house. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of, so it has to do with money, self-esteem, things like that. So just try as much as you can to put that aside. Let that Uranus work for you in terms of bringing you Uranus in your home environment. Let something in your home environment inspire you. Maybe, maybe you know, rethink about, you know, I don't know, rearrange your furniture, something to do with, something there, something uh, fun and wild might inspire you to be able to finish this project that you have been working on. Um, and 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 then on the other hand, your Venus is about to enter Cancer and join Jupiter in your fifth house of creative projects. I mean, that is just beautiful. So you have the support there to finalize this, and then it's just party time. Okay. So, um, absolutely just try to put those fears aside, just finish it, just finalize the project. Um, I mean, you have Ace of Wands here. This is definitely, it's like, just do it, don't think about it. Um, you don't really have a choice anyway. So, um, so it is what it is. And it's going to be whatever this project is. And for some of you, for some Pisces, this may have to do with children, by the way. There might be um, a birth in the family, or something to do with some joyful news regarding um, somebody getting um, pregnant, something to do with that. I mean, just, or it's a symbolic birth of finally giving birth to this project. Okay, so lovely, lovely time. Yes, I can see lots of fears here. Try to put them aside. Concentrate, just getting it done, and don't try not to think about, how, try not to think about the results. Okay, but the end of the month, especially, looks like you'll be finishing that project, and then it is party time. The last week of May, the beginning of June, lovely time. So, thank you for listening, and I provide astrology and tarot readings. I do coaching using astrology and tarot, and I do all kinds of readings of any length, based on your questions or your life situation. Provide your birthday, birthplace, and birth time. And again, I offer year ahead readings. You can read about my services on my website, and like, subscribe, comment, and share. And thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you again. Good luck.